It isn't harder to find love the older you get. Sometimes you may have a problem with finding love if you have a block. The disadvantage for a lot of people when as they get older when it comes to love is they're bringing a bunch of baggage with them as far as what they've experienced in the past, where relationships are concerned, or where love is concerned, or the lack thereof. So oftentimes people as they get older are almost like a summary, a collection of their experiences, both physically and mentally. And oftentimes that's the block that can make it harder for them to find love as they get older because they either become constricted, really constricted in what it is that they're looking for or what it is that they want in someone, or they become really insecure about previous experiences that they've had, and that unfortunately stays with them and becomes kind of a part of their persona. So these are often blocks that leads to a person not being able to find love as they get older. It's not so much that love is not there or the opportunity isn't there. Oftentimes it's just what you carry with you as you get older based on your previous experiences as the years have gone by. And if those experiences have been relatively negative, there's a good chance that you will take that with you as you interact with people, as you meet new people in your life, maybe change careers. And that oftentimes will be something that can turn people off and thereby making it that much harder for you to find love. Think about it in this way. As you're getting older, even if you haven't really found love in the past, as you're getting older, you're learning more and more about yourself. You're discovering more and more about yourself. This is actually something that you can use to your advantage. When you're younger, you're still kind of coming out of the shell. You're still kind of getting to know yourself, understand yourself. You're just beginning to have new experiences in your life that will oftentimes help you, that will oftentimes influence your personality or influence the way you look at the world. However, as you're getting older, you've had several experiences already. You've seen how you've responded to these experiences, so you're learning more about yourself. Hence, you're learning more about your strengths and you're learning more about your weaknesses. So it's important that you don't look at getting older and not yet having found love in your life or not having love in your life currently as something that you should feel down about at this time, because you do have an advantage of when you are older in the sense that as you get older in that you've already had previous life experiences and you've seen how you've dealt with them, you've seen how it's rubbed off on you, and so you're able to assess more of, you're able to look at yourself better and understand what your strengths and your weaknesses are. So you need to look at it in that way, and when you do, you can start looking to your strengths and going, okay, what are my strengths? How can I use these strengths to attract the person I want in my life, to attract love? Think about it. Let's say, for example, over the course of the last several years, you've discovered that, oh, you know what? I have a very positive outlook on life. People tell me all that all the time. I've had some really hard times, and I've come out of it in a positive way. I've looked at it in a positive way, and I just have a positive outlook on life. Okay, so you know that that's a strength of yours. So what you do now with that strength is ask yourself, well, how do I go about putting myself in a position where people can get that sense of my positive energy? And so in a situation like that, you might think, okay, well, what do I enjoy engaging in? What do I enjoy partaking in activity wise? So maybe now this is a time where you start partaking in more and more of these kinds of activities that perhaps you've been ignoring in recent years, or you've been thinking about partaking in, but you haven't been. And now that you've done an assessment of yourself and you know what, I'm a really positive person, now you show that when you're around people, right? You show that when you're around people, as opposed to just climbing up and just not needing to get to know people for a good long while before you really let your true personality shine. Instead of that, just show your personality right off the bat, right off the bat. So if you know one of your strengths is being positive, then you put yourself in those situations where you're around people and you show that energy. Because oftentimes like will attract like. And more than likely in doing that, in the process, you will attract someone who's just like you, who has that sort of positive energy, because you're going to be drawn to you based on that. So these are some of the things you can do. This is just an exercise. It's just an exercise. Taking a look back and just saying, you know what, I'm getting older, but what have I discovered are my strengths? And once you know what those strengths are, it could be, like I just suggested, a positive attitude, or it could be perhaps intelligence, a way, you have probably a way of solving problems that a lot of people don't. Well, you can put yourself in environments where you can attract people who are just like you. And that's where love could suddenly happen. So that's the way you should go about approaching this.